Welcome back to the Conservation Podcast here at the Pike County Conservation District. My name is Emily, and I'm the Communications Coordinator here at the district, and thank you for tuning back into the podcast. Today's guest is Kristina Heaney, who is the District Manager at our neighboring County Conservation District over in Monroe County, and she's here to talk to us today about clean fill. I'm here with Kristina Heaney, who is the District Manager at the Monroe County Conservation District. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So how long have you been with the Monroe County Conservation District?
So I have been with the Monroe County Conservation District for a little over 4 years. I started my Conservation District career in 2009 as an intern, then a technician in Carbon County, and then a specialist in Northampton County, and now I'm the manager in Monroe County.
Awesome. Yeah. So today we're going to talk about clean fill and dirty dirt. So could you start off by telling us what fill is and what a landowner might use it for?
Sure. So I want to preface this by just saying, as Conservation District employees, we don't do much more than education and outreach as far as clean fill goes. It is a environmental protection, DEP related permit program, and authorization program. But I will answer as many questions as I possibly can to help get the word out and try to help educate people. So fill itself and clean fill includes soil, rock, stone, dredged material, used asphalt, brick, block, concrete from construction. Some of the demolition debris is actually considered clean fill as well. And that is separate from other wastes and recognizable as such. So it's a pretty comprehensive word that takes in a lot of different materials to be considered as clean fill. So it's not just dirt, it's also, like I said, including stones and even, like I said, concrete block. That's considered clean fill.
Okay. So why might a company advertise and give away fill for free? Sometimes you'll see that advertised online places, right?
So, we see it a lot on Facebook Marketplace. That's a really popular place for people to see free fill advertised. So oftentimes over the course of development, there can be an imbalance of fill material. So you can have an excess of this material and you need to get rid of it. In this scenario where the material is local, native, and has been properly mixed or has reached certain soil testing standards, this material works. It's easy to find. It's good, clean fill, and it is available. If it's free, that's even better. In other scenarios, where it's out of the area material that does not meet the clean fill standards of their state, they ship it into PA and they give it away as free in order to save money, because ultimately this material would cost them a lot of money to remove to a regulated facility or a landfill. So because of those costs, it's cheaper to give it away as quote-unquote free material rather than paying to have it properly removed in a regulated facility.
Okay, that makes sense. So what could be in the fill that would make it dirty dirt or make it not meet the clean fill requirements?
Sure, so things like arsenic, lead, copper, mercury, nickel, zinc, some things that are even naturally occurring, they could be in the material and at high levels. And we are in the tri-state area here in New York and New Jersey. Their standards tend to be different than our standards. So oftentimes, because our thresholds of acceptance are higher, we've almost become the trash can of the tri-state. So we're the place where in other states it would be regulated material. It's considered, clean fill, and they bring it here and they dump it.
All right. So how much of a problem is dirty dirt in our area, would you say?
So coming from northeastern and within the northeastern Pennsylvania region, we are all border counties. So, Luzerne, Monroe, Pike, Wayne, Carbon, we have a pretty significant potential or great potential to receive this material due to our proximity alone. Shipping this material to other destinations throughout the state becomes more costly. They can fill up the trucks going right over the border, and it's considered completely legal. So it is a really great threat to our area, something that we really have to take into consideration.
Yeah, definitely. Is there a reason that we're hearing about dirty dirt more recently than we have before?
I would say it comes down to economy. This isn't really anything new that this material has been coming into Pennsylvania, but I think it's become more obvious with the uptick in construction in a post-COVID world. Contractors and developers are getting smart on how to move material in the most cost-effective way. And there's also social media that's really become huge. You know, it used to be Craigslist, now it's Facebook Marketplace. When they have an avenue that they can pursue in order to quickly and efficiently move this material, they're going to pursue it. So I think that the easiest answer to that is, like I said, economy. Construction is booming. I think that we can see that across the board.
Yeah. So how can landowners know that the fill that they're getting is clean?
So the best way to really do this is some of the standards that the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection has already put in place, and that's to request what's called an FP 001 certification of clean fill form, or when you're receiving this material, request analytical testing data. Ultimately, education is really the solution here. As a homeowner, feel free to ask questions. Ask, where is this material coming from? What's the source of it? Check for an odor or materials that are not considered fill, such as trash. A lot of the material that's coming into the area has old sneakers or golf balls or, medical waste. These are things to keep your eyes open for. You're the homeowner, you're in charge. Be educated about what material is coming in here, because what you're doing is you're falling victim and prey to these organizations that are just trying to, make a quick buck.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for providing that education and insight for us. So why else would we not want dirty dirt in our communities besides maybe like we don't want to see sneakers in our yard, but what is it doing to the ecosystem?
So I'm going to quote DEP in this one, and they put together this really great infographic. It was actually with, we're going to take a little credit here, Monroe County's assistance. We really pushed for this education and outreach, and it's that dirty dirt can leach chemicals into clean soil and groundwater, and it carries toxic chemicals like arsenic and lead. DEP wants residents and contractors in Pennsylvania to make sure they do not accept or use fill material that may contain or cause contamination. And what that really comes down to is when you have areas of commercial and industrial uses, there's a lot of different potential discharged chemicals that can leach into the groundwater, can leach into the soil, and those things stay and stick around for years to come. And they contaminate the soil in a way that taking that fill material and putting into your property, say near your drinking well, or near your septic system, where that's going to be flushed and it's going to go into the the groundwater system and then eventually into our streams. It's going to have colossal impacts over time to our ecosystem, because now you're putting non-native chemicals into the ecosystem, and our macroinvertebrate populations within the streams and our animal populations, our vegetative flora and fauna are going to suffer as a result of these non-native chemicals.
Yeah, of course. So what are you at the County Conservation District in Monroe and other local organizations and DEP doing to curb the problem of dirty dirt?
Sure. So I can speak first for my conservation district in Monroe. We're really pushing education and outreach. We're really trying to get out into the community and answer questions. And we really see these people that are receiving this quote-unquote dirty dirt as victims. We think that we want everyone to have this sense of education and know that not all dirt is bad dirt. A lot of fill that's coming in from out-of-state or even local sources is considered clean. And, but you need to be asking the right questions. You need to be educated on what you're bringing onto your property, because we don't want to see anybody fall victim to having chemical contaminants in their well water. We don't want to see anyone have to undergo the extreme expense of remediating their property if it should be found to be not clean fill. I mean, I've seen people that have, the industry is wild. I've seen people that have gone to sleep and asked for 10 triaxles worth of material and woken up to 100 or more triaxles of material dumped on their property. And then these people are fly by night, they have burner cell phones, and they disappear. And that's scary. Like I said, these people have fallen victim to an industry that is there to make a buck. And I think that our role as conservation professionals is to try to get to the community before they become victimized, to allow them to appropriately associate, what they should be asking with what they're going to be receiving. And I think the department is doing their best to try to combat this by, sending their inspectors out there to conduct analytical testing and run tests when necessary, to determine whether or not the fill is contaminated or not, and then should it be contaminated, how to remediate that. And they're working with the community. I give the department a lot of credit. They're a little understaffed, they're spread pretty thin, so they can't get to everything as quickly as, we can as boots on the ground. So that's why it's really important for us to, be proactive, not reactive. And that's been the approach that we've tried to take in Monroe. We've seen a number of people taken advantage of, and we want to make sure that is prevented in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you for doing that. And is there anything else about Dirty Dirt that you want our community to know?
I think I want our community to know that, like I said before, not all dirt is bad. Not all contractors and developers are the enemy here, and that, there's a lot of really good material out there that can be used. I want our community to know that if it seems too good to be true, it almost always is. Use your discretion as a homeowner and be smart. And like I said, ask those questions. Educate yourself. The obligation is on you as a property owner to, properly look into something before putting it down. Because, it impacts you, it impacts your neighbors, it impacts the downstream community. So it's really important for us to know that, and for you to, kind of work towards that goal of educating yourself. I think that overall, in the grand scheme of things, I'd love to see Pennsylvania reassess in the legislative branch, because that's really who's making these determinations. The legislative branch take a hard look at our acceptable standards for contaminants when it comes to soil, and realize that, when we have higher thresholds, we kind of become that trash can of the tri-state. We become, an easy way to get rid of material, where if we kind of raised or lowered our thresholds of acceptance to be similar to the surrounding states, there'd be no way for these, kind of companies to take advantage of the system. So I think that's something in the long run I'd love to see our legislators stand up and say, hey, this is a problem. We're seeing a lot of issues with this, and we really need to change the standards. But it is something that's really only regional right now. It's not impacting the rest of our state, so I see why our legislators are having issues. Typically when regulations come about, it's got to be something that's affecting everyone, but this is really only affecting us right now. But we are getting hammered. I have complaints every single day of trucks from New York and New Jersey bringing in triaxles worth of fill. On average, dozens by the hour. So it's something that we have to be cognizant of.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. So in addition to the education that you provide on fill and dirty dirt, you have a lot of other great technical programs, a lot of the stuff that we have here, like our Chapter 102 and 105 programs. And you also have the Kettle Creek Environmental Education Center, which has a lot of great programs going on. So are there any upcoming events or particular programs that you'd like to highlight, and especially ones that would be open and available to Pike County residents?
Sure. So in the past, actually, Monroe County was very heavy on our membership base, but that's actually in the last 2 to 3 years that's changed. All of our programs are open to the public all the time. So any Pike County resident would be welcome to join us at any one of our programs, and we would absolutely be happy to have you. I know this weekend we have our public maple sugaring day at Meesing Nature Center in Marshalls Creek. We tapped hundreds of trees in order to make maple syrup there actually live in front of you. It's a tour through the sugar bush so that we kind of teach everybody how maple syrup, the industry started, where the origins of it were, how to cook it. We tap a tree live in front of you, and then there's a pancake station where you can try the syrup that we harvested there on site, so that's pretty fun. We have a full summer of camps and public programs. We have a bunch of different kayak trips lined up, so if you don't have a kayak, don't worry, we have kayaks for you. There's, great programs coming. We'll provide some safety education for you as well. So first time, no worries. The one thing I really love to highlight is Monroe County has this really unique opportunity to be the stewards of the Tannersville Cranberry Bog. And so that's a sphagnum bog in the Cranberry Creek in Tannersville, Pennsylvania. It's the southernmost boreal bog east of the Mississippi River. So it contains many like black spruce that are at the southernmost limit of their ranges. So these are some of the flora and fauna that are unlike anywhere else in our region that you really won't see. We have the exclusive rights to the Nature Conservancy to run tours. Something that's really neat there that I always love seeing is we have a lot of carnivorous plants and we have wild cranberries that grow there. There's also otters and a number of other different, animal visitors that use the boardwalk as well. It's a floating boardwalk on top of the bog. It's an incredible tour. I can't say enough great things about it. It's a kind of a once in a lifetime place to check out, and it's just an incredible experience. And our tour guides are our educators. They know it all. So I invite anybody and everybody. We also do full moon. Oh my gosh, sunset. Full moon hikes and kayak trips through the bog as well. So it's a really unique experience. On the technical side of things, our technical people are actually planning an NPDES workshop with Pike County right now.
Right.
It's called Back to the Basics, and it's kind of an opportunity for some of our newer engineers, our CAD technicians, surveyors, landscape architects to kind of refresh their knowledge or really go through some of those beginning phases of the NPDES permit process to help warm them up into becoming more well-rounded professionals. And that's going to be on May 10th at Skytop. So we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to continue planning with Pike. And so like I said, always check our website. We've always got a ton of things going on. But I think 2024 is definitely going to be one of our best years.
Great. Thank you for sharing that. We're definitely looking forward to the NPDES workshop here too and working with you on that. And the Cranberry Bog Tour is absolutely on my list of stuff to do this spring and summer, and I am so excited for that. I did the little video on your website that has a short video tour through the bog, so if you want to get a sneak peek before you go out, you could definitely check that out. It's super cool. Is there anything else that you'd like to share?
No, I really appreciate the opportunity to get out here and speak about this and continue our education efforts. And I really hope that if anyone ever has a question, if you ever don't know the answer, conservation districts as a whole, we are a clearinghouse for all kinds of environmental issues, and we'd rather be here to help you and assist you than, have you feel like you're walking blindly into these situations. So reach out to us anytime. We're always a resource.
Thank you so much for being that resource, and always feel free to reach out to us here at the Pike County Conservation District as well. So thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Thanks so much.
Thank you for listening to the Conservation Podcast here at Pike County Conservation District. If you enjoyed this episode and want to find more, you can find past episodes and new episodes. Our Season 2 episodes will be released monthly starting January 2024 on our website, pikeconservation.org, under the Education tab, or on Spotify. To stay in touch with us and find out more about our upcoming events, newly released podcast episodes, and tips and tricks for conservation at home, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and sign up for our email monthly newsletter, which you can find the sign up link at the bottom of our website, pikeconservation.org. Thanks for listening.